All right guys, so today we're gonna give a full tour of the MUSEROAMER. It's a self-built expedition vehicle. Took us 2 years to build. We've been living in it for over 8 months now, and we just wanna walk you through the whole build and see what you think. I'm gonna do the outside, Ashley's gonna do the inside, and let's get started.
We set off to build the expedition vehicle of my dreams from the ground up with a $30,000 budget. We documented every aspect of the build from the design process to all the hardships along the way. To be honest, this was one of the most challenging projects of my entire life, but the final product exceeded my wildest dreams. Watch as we build an incredible vehicle for Season 3 of the Tiny Home Adventure series. This is the MUSEROAMER project.
So we started with a 2004 Ford F550 that was 4-wheel drive. When we bought it, it was just this kind of dinky little work truck. We spent some time converting it from a dually to a single. We lifted it, built the entire box from scratch. We built the panels, the internal steel frame, designed everything totally custom from the ground up, sort of loosely based off of the EarthRoamer concept, but optimized it for our needs. So yeah, we'll start at the front of the truck here. We've got a big burly buckstop bumper with Baja design lights and a worn 16.5 thousand pound winch. This thing's super burly. We're not too worried about, hitting deer if that, God forbid. Thankfully we haven't hit anything yet, but this thing's super heavy duty, looks cool, and yeah, it's been great. We also have some more Baja design lights up top. They're all on auxiliary switches, so we can have our fog lights on, our XLR Pros or the light bar all on independent switches. To convert it from a dually to single, we used a buckstop conversion kit. So basically it's offset wheels that allow us to accommodate these 41-inch tires. We did have to cut out this radius and add these fender flares, but it is 4-wheel drive. We do have to jump out. They're the manually locking hubs, but they're great. It's been, I wasn't actually looking to go as big as 41s, but with the kit, it kept our geometry right. Instead of piecing together everything using spacers and having to figure that all out, we just went with the buckstop kit, which was really nice. Not too much as far as alterations to the cab. I do need to get some new running boards. These are broken. They've been catching on the side of the tires and stuff, but no big deal. And then to the real work, this shell. So we built the entire shell, panels, everything. Basically, the shell is 1/2-inch HDO plywood, which is just an epoxy-infused plywood, 2 inches of foam board, 1/2-inch HDO. Those are glued and through-bolted together, then attached to a minimal internal steel skeleton. Then I actually had to fiberglass and Bondo all the seams, and then it's some auto body paint and then a vinyl wrap as far as the finish goes. We are getting some cracking in the paint, which is super unfortunate, but not much I can do about it. For a prototype, I think it turned out pretty dang cool. And we had these boxes fabricated by Vorshear, a local Utah company. They're locked, but the idea for this one is to have a slide-out grill that's hard piped into our propane. Just based on this project taking literally 10 times longer than we expected, we haven't quite built that out yet. At the moment, it's just storage. For this box, we keep our stairs. We have these really cool torque lift stairs that collapse, and we just toss them in there. We've got bocce ball, we've got, our hammock, some leveling blocks, but they all just fit in there. And then they make these nice little steps. And we just kind of keep it like that. Around the back side here, we've got some kiteboarding stuff drying out because we're big into kiteboarding. But we had this bumper also fabricated by Vorshear and these back boxes. At the moment, we have a spare propane tank, camp chairs, some of our kiteboarding equipment goes in here, and firewood. And in this box, we have an extra grill. This thing's awesome. Just to cook outside, it's been actually something we utilize a ton. And our main propane tank, which fuels the refrigerator and our stove and our water heater inside. Up top here, we have two 1-up bike racks. These racks are super cool. We had to just add this little keeper to it. So in case we hit a bump, it doesn't let up. But basically we can keep two full-size mountain bikes mounted vertically on the back here. It's super, super nice. Really, really like that. We do have 4 auxiliary rear lights that we can flip on with a switch if we'd like. And it's also hooked up to our reverse. When we throw it into a reverse, we have a nice, big, powerful beam. That way we don't run over anything or anybody, which has been great. We have a reverse camera, a ladder here, which accesses the roof. Right now we've got 2 kite boards, a surfboard stationed on there. And then around here, this is the hatch to our cassette toilet, which is not super glamorous, but we do have an external shower here. This is really nice, so getting out of the water, salty. We have this little bamboo deal, so you can just hang out, shower, it's really nice. And then our cassette is just our toilet essentially. This thing pulls out, I'll show you here. Just pulls out, and then you can kind of just wheel it into any bathroom, any pit toilet, anything like that. Really nice and easy. And the shower hose just stows away like this. This is just an insulating plug when it gets cold to try and keep that nice and happy. In this lower box, we keep the shower mat, so when we're showering, rinsing off our feet aren't getting dirty. Water hose, tool bags, air compressor, stuff like that. And this just lives in there. We have the exhaust for the refrigerator, our city water if we're hooked up at an RV park, which we have never done before, but doesn't mean that we won't ever. 2 diesel tanks, exhaust for the furnace, and this is where we keep our more tools and fluids. Then that brings us to this side of the rig. This is our wetsuit drying rack or side view mirror. And I'll show you the inside here of the cockpit. Super fancy. Just an old work truck interior. We pulled the rear seat out to allow for kiteboarding storage. We've got some t-shirts. And then on the other side, Kicker has a full bed. We haven't done anything too special to the inside. I did add, a dash cam, our reverse cam, which is always on. So basically it acts as our rear view mirror, and an edge controller so that we can check our temperatures, check all of our fluids and our gauges there. Pretty basic. Seat belts 3 at the moment, but we could always throw the rear seat back in if we wanted to and have room for 6. But mainly it's just Ashley, Kicker, and I. So the roof of the Roamer is really important as well. We have 3 175 watt ZAMP solar panels that help power our 4 lithium-ion batteries. We also have an awning with some exterior lights here that we can flip on if we want to spend an evening outside but have some nice lighting. There's also a ski box. That's where we keep our skis, snowboards. We have 2 paddle boards up there. There's also our full-size spare tire, which is massive. The thing almost weighs 200 pounds. So we built a hand crank, a little crane up there, so that we can lift it up and lower it and swap tires without killing somebody with a 200-pound tire, because there's no way I'm getting a 200-pound tire up there, without some kind of mechanical advantage. And then just a couple little penetrations. We also have a WeBoost, which helps boost a self-hooked signal. And we also got this PepWave Mini Link, which is a Wi-Fi solution that we found. It's unthrottled, unlimited data, and it's been great. We work on the road full-time, as most of you know, and it's been a huge resource. Instead of having to go post up at libraries or coffee shops, you can work from the Roamer totally without any issues and without blowing up our hotspots on our phones. So I'm going to hand the mic off to Ashley, who's going to give you the full tour of the inside.
Come on inside and check it out. So storage was super important for us in here. We have so much gear for all of the different seasons, and we really needed to be able to keep all of that in a space. So Andrew created his and hers closets. They're awesome. We have shelves in these ones. It's kind of a mess in there, but this is my toiletries and other cabinet. And then we all have drawers, 4 drawers for clothes, and the bottom one is for shoes. Over here, my one need for living on the road full-time was having a bathroom. Andrew did not want to put one, and I fought for it, and I'm so glad I did. This is our shower and wet bath. So we have a shower, we have a cassette toilet in there, and Andrew showed you the hatch outside, so this is where it all goes in from. Right now it's kind of a sandy mess because it's also our wetsuit storage, but it's perfect in the winter. It's all of our snowboarding gear, and yeah. We have a fan up there, a Dometic fan to help circulate the air. Moving this way, we have a Dometic fridge. It actually has a freezer in it, which is so exciting for ice cream. This fridge is actually bigger than the one we had in our apartment before we moved into this, so this is really living large on the road. We have a big storage cabinet up here for some dry food, and the same goes below. We have all of our spices and pasta and everything down there. Coming this way, we have our little dinette area. It's supposed to be able to pop down into a bed, but we haven't really had to use it for that yet, so it's mostly just a table. Under this seat, we have our propane heater, and also all of our dog food for Kicker is stored under there, which is really great. It's such a big bag, so it's easy to tuck it in there and hide it. We have this window with these awesome screens from Dometic that either are a screen or a shade so you can hide. Back here we have another storage unit. This is all of our electrical underneath hidden in here, and actually we have some back here as well. So Andrew talked about the PepWave Wi-Fi router that we have from Mobile Satellite Technologies. That's hidden back there along with all of our other electrical chases. And down here we have where we can check our power, how much solar power we have. All of our lithium-ion batteries are down here. We can turn on the water pump. Kind of this is the brains of the operation on this side. Down below we have a secret cabinet, so that slides out as well. It's a little difficult, so I won't pull it out, but it's there. Up here we have a full queen-size bed. It's pretty awesome. Both of us are short, so we can fit, and it's so much space. Underneath we have Froley system. It's to help get rid of moisture. In the winter we were dealing with a lot of moisture buildup under the bed and it was getting kind of musty. So this has helped a lot, as well as this hyper vent. Just helps the air circulate under there. And then at the bottom, Andrew has built these boxes for our laundry, for his tripods and other camera equipment. Because we're so short, we can cut the bed off and create the boxes, and they've been great. Down here, this is a pass-through. I told Andrew that this was a terrible idea because it seemed like something else to go wrong on the build, but it's actually been really great. We use it pretty much every day. So you just pull out the insulating plug and you can get right into the cab of the truck. Kicker loves it. And then over here, this is Andrew's probably favorite spot of the whole rig. Because we work on the road and he produces so much content, he needed a comfortable space to edit and do all of that from. So we have a sycamore slab desk. This was from Red Point Woodworks, so actually Andrew got to pick out this and the table as well and help sand it, which was really cool. He's got this big editing bay, so he's got his laptop as well as a 32-inch monitor so he can edit and have it on another screen. We've got a nice soundbar system, and up here is all of his camera equipment, charging batteries, everything like that fits nicely up there so it's not stuck out on the counter. And of course, below, Kicker loves to sit at Andrew's feet while he's working, so we have an extra storage shelf and then Kicker's comfortable bed and blanket down there. Over here, we have a 3-burner stove from Dometic. It's run off of propane. And then here we even have a little oven. It's like an easy bake oven for adults. You can make cookies and everything in there. It's been great for cooking on the road. Below we have our water heater and some more storage. And these 2 cabinets are just full of Tupperware plates, bowls, silverware up here. We have a lovely banana hammock that our friend made for us. It's perfect. And then over here we have a set-in stainless steel sink, stainless steel faucet, and our little plant. And down here we just have our garbage and some cleaning supplies storage as well. So again, this is so much storage in here and it's perfect. We've toured some other options and we just didn't find the storage that we needed, and there's something that we can hide everywhere in here, and it's great. Secret though, down here, our water heater or our water tanks fit underneath the floor. So there's 6 inches down there that we didn't want to lose out, again, all that storage. So if you pull this, there's a trap door for all of our climbing gear. We've got extra backpacks and everything that we don't use on a daily basis, and that just fits in the trap door down there. So shh, don't tell anyone. So in here we have an air conditioner. We don't use it very often. We don't have a generator yet. That's one thing that we still need to get, but it is nice for the really hot days. Otherwise, we just use our fan that circulates air with all the windows open. Another one of Andrew's favorite parts of the rig is something that he worked really hard on. He wanted to do shishugibon. It's a Japanese technique for burning wood, and it comes out looking like this. So what you do is you take the slabs and you burn them with a torch, and then once that's done, you take a wire brush and scrub it out, and it just leaves the grain darker. It's beautiful, and I really love what it adds to the interior of the space, so I'm really happy he did that. So Andrew wakes up way earlier than me in the morning and starts working, and he wanted to be able to turn on some lights without bothering me up in bed, so we decided to put all of our lights on 3 different sections. We have over the bed, we have middle of the cabin, and we have over the counters, and then they're all on dimmers, so you can adjust the brightness of them. And the best part is that Andrew had to technically think about where the cabinet doors would open, so none of the lights get covered up and they still shine, so it's perfect. There's so much like little details that went into building this thing, and I'm honestly impressed with how much he paid attention and figured out all this stuff so that it works together perfectly. One of the biggest things that we would have done differently if we were to do it again, or if we could go back, would be to add radiant floor heating. We would run it off of the diesel of the truck, so it'd be one less thing to worry about without propane, because right now we just have a propane furnace. And also it would have been nice to be able to keep the water tanks heated with the in-floor heating. Right now they're underneath the floor, and we have to kind of be careful and not go in too cold of temperatures because we're worried about them freezing. We wouldn't want the pipes to burst or anything because it's really hard to access. So that's probably the biggest thing that we would do differently. A fun little addition that we found a little bit into living in here was these little lights that you can buy on Amazon. They're just like touch, and they recharge by a USB charger, and it's perfect for reading in bed at night, or if Andrew wants to stay up past me and he doesn't want these lights on, then he can use that. It's just really great, easy to recharge, and they were cheap, so they're perfect.
Thank you so much for joining us on the tour of the MUSEROAMER. If there was any questions you had, make sure to leave a comment. If you'd like to see a video that's a little bit more specific about any part of our system or any part of the build, let us know. You can check out the whole build on the MUSEROAMER project in one of our playlists. Also, you can check out Season 3 of the Tiny Home Adventure.
If you have any questions about living on the road full-time, that'll give you the answer. We're taking this rig all over the west coast of the U.S. and hopefully down to Baja on our favorite adventures like kiteboarding, surfing, paragliding, all that good stuff. So check it out and ask us any questions you have as well. Woo!